Hi viewers, welcome to Face to Face. My name is Alessandro and I will be with you for 1 hour. Now this is a spoon that I got from makeup room. I'm going to do something magical with this spoon. Hopefully I can show you and I try to amaze you. So here's the thing. This is a spoon. If you try to bend it with your physical power, it will be like this. This is using your physical power. If you try to do it with your magic power, it will be like this. But if you try to bend it with your mind power, it will be the other way around. That's it. This is a spoon bend. And now you may be questioning how I can do this one. The answer is very simple because I have some experience in the world of magic, in the world of mentalism, and I'm going to be inviting and I'm going to be talking with somebody who I think is very experienced in the world of teaching. He is none other than Pak Jimmy Sapoetra. Hi, Pak Jimmy.
Hi.
How are you doing, Pak?
I'm great.
Have a seat, Pak.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to be laying this down here, the spoon, the bent spoon. So far, what are your current activities, Pak?
Well, I'm a lecturer at BINUSTV University, so I teach, and also I have to take care of the new department because I'm the new HOD, head of department in BINUS. And also, as lecturers, you know, we have to do research as well, yeah, because we have Tridharma perguruan tinggi, right? So teaching, research, and also we have to do activities also for the society, which is called the pengabdian pada masyarakat.
Wow.
Yeah.
And besides teaching at BINUS, where else do you teach? Or BINUS is the only university you teach in?
Currently, yes, because I'm a full-timer here, you know, I cannot work outside. Anyway, there's not enough time to do that. So, yeah, we have to be here morning to afternoon, and then the rest of the day, I still have to catch up with other things also. Yeah.
So I can assume that you are somebody who is pretty busy, and I think you barely have time to do your hobbies.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, on weekends. Yeah.
What hobbies do you have, by the way, Pak? Swimming, running, jogging?
Hobbies? I like reading, traveling, also food hunting.
Food hunting. But in terms of sports, do you have any in particular?
Perhaps swimming, yeah, but I seldom have time to do that, unfortunately, yeah.
And you mentioned that reading is one of your favorite hobbies. What kind of books are you fond of? Is it philosophy, is it literature, or what, Pak?
Currently, I'm reading books about education because, you see, my department is related to education, so I have to learn a lot of things, new things, and also I have to prepare myself for the new department to be opened, so. Yeah, education, philosophy, philosophy of science, also about literature because my background was literature. Yeah.
Wow. So if somebody comes to you, Pak, so let's say I am new to you. You don't know me, I don't know you yet. So we just we introduce ourselves to each other. My name is Alessandro, your name is Jimmy. What is your job? What would you say? Lecturer or teacher, Pak? What would you like to be seen as? A lecturer or a teacher?
Good and hard question to answer. I see myself more as a teacher, to be honest, because a lecturer is like you lecture the class, right? But a teacher is someone who teaches and educates people, and also it's not about profession only. It's kind of, you know, a call in your life. Yeah,
dedication, I guess.
Yeah,
so
you're right.
Teach is more than just to lecture.
Yeah.
So how long have you been teaching, by the way, Pak?
Well,
in total,
back in 1993, I began teaching informally.
1993, or
yes.
Formally. So before that, you have started teaching?
No. I mean, informally, I started teaching in 93. That was my first year in university. It was an accident, actually. I had to do it. I didn't have any other choice at the time. But formally, I started teaching back in 1998. I was teaching in one of the private schools in Jakarta. So
the first time you taught, you tried to teach is in 1993.
Yes.
And then you say that you were forced.
Yeah, I had to.
Because of what?
Honestly, at that time, my parents did not really have good fortune to send me to university. So something happened financially, and then. But I told myself I had to do something, because if you are just if you graduated from high school and then how come you earn money and then you get a good job?
So we need to enrich ourselves with experience.
Yes, and then at first I didn't know what to do, and then, well, I like English. That's one of the factors. So I began to teach English at the time, just to to meet the ends with, and finally I found it very enjoyable.
But here's the thing, Pa. Teaching, so it means that somebody who teaches is a teacher. Some people think that being a teacher is not a profession that pays much money. You can find other jobs which can give you more money than trying to be a teacher, because a teacher, you're not going to be a rich person if you try to be a teacher. That's what people think. And I want to know the reasons that underlie your willingness to be a teacher. What are they, Pa?
Okay. Perhaps a little bit more philosophical, because I think being a teacher is a call. Not all people are called to be teachers. So we are not talking about money, we're not talking about fame here, but I believe that, well, I'm Christian. My Lord was a teacher also. And it's great to be a teacher because you educate people. You don't just teach the knowledge and skills to them, but also you give examples. You're the role model for your students. And I think that this is one of the greatest job that I've ever had.
So in teaching, what part of it do you enjoy most of all? The one that you find most interesting in teaching? Is it like making questions to your students? Is it the sharing moment? Is it the joking part, or what, Pa?
You got the point, joking. I like telling jokes, but of course not that part. I like it very much when I share my life.
You share your life.
Especially, if the students are bored and then, okay, sir, what else we can learn today? I usually ask them questions. Why are you here? What is the purpose of your life? What is the benefit of taking this course, for example? And what do you think education can give you? Something like that. And we start discussing. I know we have to stick to the topics, but then after that, they are inspired to have more, motivation in their learning. Yeah. So I think that's also important for them.
Okay, when I try to join your class, Pak Jimmy Sapoetra, all that comes to my mind is like this one. You may have somebody, or maybe you know a friend, a relative who is good at making people laugh. Or maybe you have a teacher who teaches you very well. In my opinion, Pak Jimmy is somebody within whom these two qualities can be found. That's the point, joking and making people enjoy your lesson. I don't know. So when you are joking, Pak, do you do it or purposefully, or you just do it spontaneously?
Both. Both. Because I think, well, we are human beings. We need to have sense of humor. And one of the theories in learning, in pedagogy, they tell us that people learn best when they are relaxed, And a good teacher, he or she has to have good sense of humor. It doesn't mean that he or she escapes the lessons, but somehow they have to have a break, telling them jokes or their own experience in life, you see. And I find it very effective way to get the students' attention. That's my first purpose, actually. But then I started to enjoy it, by the way, because I think jokes also are the best way to learn something.
Okay, and we will continue later, Pa, after the break. So don't go anywhere, stay tuned. Hi viewers, welcome back with us on Face to Face, your favorite talk show on BINUSTV with me Alessandro and Pak Jimmy Sapoetra as our special guest. Now Pak, I assume that you were somebody who is good at joking, and who did you learn it from? Did you learn it on your own, or did somebody else teach you? Oh, Pak Jimmy, if you wanna make a joke, make jokes, here's the key to doing it successfully, or what?
I think I learned by myself because one of my favorite teachers when I was in high school or junior high school, he was very good at it. You see, and he could make us relax in the class, and then, but the jokes are quite meaningful also. As I said earlier, by telling jokes we can learn many things, you see, and sometimes even we laugh at ourselves. We laugh at our lives, you see. Oh, how foolish we are. How could we do that? And we can always learn from our mistakes, by the jokes. Also, we can be smarter, I think, because we have to analyze which part of it which is fun, right? Which is quite challenging for people to listen to jokes, especially the good ones.
Okay. Yeah. So you are now a teacher teaching English.
Yes.
When somebody wants to become a teacher, it doesn't necessarily mean that that person has to teach English. That person can also teach math, can also teach biology, many courses, many subjects. But why do you want to teach English particularly?
Interesting question, because actually I fell in love with English first before I wanted to be a teacher. I started learning English when I was in grade 3 of primary school. Simply because at that time my uncle, who was married to an Australian woman, he came to me and said, Jimmy, you have to learn English if you want to succeed in your life. That was back in 1980s. And at that time we didn't learn English at school as much as students do today. So only junior high school students started learning English at that time. I was in primary 3. I said, how come? I don't know what it is. And then he started to introduce the language. Oh, it's kind of interesting. And then after that, still I didn't have any plan or thoughts to be a teacher. I just enjoyed the language. I learned the language. I took a course, private course. But then, as time went by, I started to change the idea that suddenly I like teaching. And that's another story, if you want to listen to.
Okay. But when somebody tries to learn English, that person will only be good at English. Don't you ever thought of hiring a private teacher to teach you in English while you take another major? So, for example, you take psychology major and then you hire a private teacher teaching you English. So you will be good at two things, psychology and English. When you are trying to take a major of English, you will be good at it only at English. Don't you ever thought of hiring a private teacher while taking another major?
Not really, because again, I told you just now that I began to like learning English first. But then after some time, when I graduated from high school, then I started to like teaching it. So it hasn't come across to my mind that I want to teach other subjects and while I'm learning English. So perhaps I will just help people who want to learn those subjects in English, which I think many students have problems with. They learn math in English, they learn physics, they learn biology, chemistry, those hard stuff, you know. And that was one of my goals at that time, helping the students to overcome those barriers. Especially we are Indonesian, we don't use the language every day, right? So you got a point also there, though. I also read textbooks in English, but regarding other subjects as well, like you mentioned just now, psychology, education, philosophy, religion, whatever. So the language is like the tool, you know, to open the gate. Yeah, you see that English is the gate to the world. So the gate should be opened, and we have to master the language. That's what I see. Yeah.
And did you take any specific teaching course to prepare you to become a teacher before, or not?
Yeah, it was like, I told you it was an accident actually. I didn't like teaching at the time. But then because I had to do it to earn more money for tuition fee and things, then I started to think to have another qualifications being a teacher, you see. So yes, you are right. I took like what they call Akta 4, Akta 4. It's like a license to be teachers.
How many years?
only like 1 semester or
1 semester.
yeah, 6 months only.
6 months only. And that's what you prepared to be a teacher. Now, is there anything that you do not like personally from being a teacher? For example, like you do not like when your students are talking to their friends, or you do not like when students are not paying attention to what you are saying, or what, Pak?
Basically, I have 2 things that I don't like from my students. First, if they are very quiet. I always tell them, hey, this is language class. If you keep quiet, what are you learning? Yeah? Maybe you are daydreaming. On the other hand, I don't really like too noisy classes because, well, if you are talking about the subjects or the topics, that's fine. But sometimes they just talk to themselves, talk to their peers in the class, or busy with themselves. Yeah, that's the time when I have to tell them jokes, I have to give them a break, and then usually it works. Yeah, they gain their attention, and then they are fully concentrated. Yeah, in the class.
And before you teach, we know there is such a thing called lesson plan.
Yeah.
When the lesson plan doesn't work, I want to know, sir, if you don't mind to share with us the worst scenario when your lesson plan doesn't work.
Very good question. I am one of the teachers who thinks the lesson plan is only a tool. It's not the purpose or the goal of the class. You see, many teachers are very concerned about lesson plan. That's good. But if you use them as the purpose of the class, I think the class should learn something. The students should learn something. Learning should take place, right? So if you just stick to the lesson plan, perhaps if you teach 2 classes or 3 classes a day, the same thing you deliver to the whole classes the whole day, you will get bored, right? So you have to find somehow how to find varieties. Yes, you have the guidelines in the lesson plan, but the way you deliver it should be different.
So is it like plan A, plan B, plan C?
Sure, let me give you an example. If you teach a very weak class, the same lesson plan, you go to the strong class or average, you have to have different strategies. Adjust, and then try to incorporate all the theories of learning that you have, so make them learn. Yeah. So the goal is not you have finished teaching. Oh, thank God, I finished teaching today. But did the students learn something from you? Does the learning take place or not? That's the question. So again, lesson plan is just a tool. The real plan is in our mind, because teachers are also actors. You have to act in front of students. Somehow, you have to pretend, for example, that you actually feel annoyed, but you have to make them comfortable as much as you can do.
And when is the best moment of you in your history of teaching? When was it?
Well, and best moment.
And what made it the best moment?
I remember when I was a teacher back in 1998. I was a homeroom also, the class teacher. Yeah, I was the class teacher of grade 7, junior high school. I got a student who was quite naughty at the time, and somehow I managed to handle him.
In what way is that student naughty?
Perhaps not naughty, but he was like, he needs attention more from his parents because his parents got divorced, you see. So the teacher thought he was naughty, but I didn't. I said, this boy is a good boy. It's just his parents did not give him enough attention. Then I started talking to the boy, and then finally we had a deal together.
What was the deal?
And I was very happy. I didn't really say a lot of things to him, but I said, okay, if you are a nice boy, people will appreciate you more. And then, especially your parents, perhaps they will change their mind. They were about to divorce, but he obeyed my words. And then, something amazing happened, that the boy started to change his attitude. Yeah, that was the best moment, if you ask me. It's not that he got good scores, he managed to pass, you see.
You shaped the characters.
Yes, he changed his attitude, and then parents got surprised. And then even the teacher, the homeroom teacher, I was not his homeroom teacher. Yeah, but she said, how come you managed to handle him? How could do that magic, you see, changing the person? He's not that type of person, I know. Yeah, something like that.
And the parents also thank you for having changed the characters.
Yeah, sort of. Especially his mom. How come you educate my son? He never listens to my words. Yeah, that's what the mom said.
Wow, that's really nice, yeah. And what do you consider, Pak, the key to teaching successfully? What is it? Some people think that class management is the most important key to successful teaching. What about you, sir?
I think the key is you have to be your student's friend first. So you have to make friends with your students. Get to know their feelings, their needs, their thoughts, their goals in life. So I was kind of also happy to have this kind of theory of quantum teaching. I learned this recently, and I gave trainings to some teachers also. Quantum learning and quantum teaching is very powerful. You
Quantum
see,
learning.
Quantum, yeah.
Okay, we will. I will try to ask that question later, Pak, after the break. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Welcome back with us on Face to Face, the only English spoken program on BINUSTV, with me, Alessandro, as your host, and Pak Jimmy Sapoetra as our special guest. If you're just tuning in, this is a special episode with him. Now, Pak, I overheard that you are now the head of the new department at BINUS. What is the name of the department, by the way?
You overheard it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Not many people know that BINUS has a new department now. It is called the Primary Teacher Education Department.
And what is it all about?
Well, in Bahasa Indonesia, it is Pendidikan Guru Sekolah Dasar. You see from the name that it prepares students to be teachers later, to be primary school teachers. It is something new, and BINUS, I think, wants to have more influence in the education world. And the best way to do it is to have good teachers, send them to schools. And then students at school, they feel enjoyable, and then all the teachings and learning processes, and then at the end of the day they will have good grades at school, and by that they will also have good future, and the result will goes back to the university. Yeah, will go back to the university, because if we have good students coming, then also the output will be better also for the next time.
And when was it established?
It started recently. We got the permission from the government back in October 2014. But then the program will start this year, September 2015. That's the first batch.
And when somebody wants to join that particular department, how many semesters does that student will have in total? Like in English department, we have like 7 or maybe 8 semesters. What about in primary teacher education?
Yeah, the same. So they have to study for 8 semesters. It means 4 years. And as we know, the BINUS has 3+1 program. 3 years you have to sit in the university, you study in the class, and 1 year you have to spend in industry. In this case, the students will go to schools. Schools nearby, or perhaps even our schools in BINUS Serpong and BINUS Simpruk, because we have 2 schools also.
And what about the number of credits?
Credits, approximately there are 146 credits altogether.
So this is my question. This is quite important, I guess. So what do you think the difference is between those who major this major, who take this major, and those who do not take this major, but they are all the teachers? So let's say teacher A, teacher B. Teacher A takes this major, teacher B doesn't take this major. Teacher B learns on his own. What will be the differences between A and B?
Basically, the government is trying to make it better this program, I mean, PGSD or Primary Teacher Education Department. For those who want to teach in primary schools, the government has set a policy that they have to graduate from this department. So in the past, if you want to be a teacher, you can go to IKIP and learn subjects that you like pendidikan bahasa Inggris, pendidikan matematika, whatever you like. Then you can teach anywhere you want. You can teach kindergarten, you can teach primary school, you can teach junior high or senior high schools. But then the government starts to change the policy. And I agree with them that if you want to be primary school teachers, you have to have specialty in that area. And that is why we, BINUS, decided to open this major, because students will have enough capacity, enough skills, knowledge, and attitude. And when they face the young learners, the primary school students, they are ready to face them. If you don't learn how these learners are, in terms of pedagogy, in terms of psychology, and other things, you may not be a good teacher. So like you said, if you learn by yourself, of course, it's quite different, because you have to learn a lot of things. There are so many things you have to know before you be if you want to be a teacher.
So many things that we have to keep in mind.
So
can I say that teaching young learners, elementary students, is the hardest teaching part, as opposed to junior high school, senior high school, university level students?
I myself consider I'm not capable of teaching young learners, because I never teach young learners before. I taught junior high school students, that's the youngest, and up to university or even employees or housewives. But then, because this is a challenging job for me, and this department is very strategic, because if you see, statistics show that Indonesia is in danger of losing primary school teachers. In this year alone, we will lose like 800,000 primary school teachers all over the country.
Wow.
Because they got retired. And who will replace them? And the same statistics show that by the year 2030, this is according to the United Nations, UNICEF, Indonesia will lose 2.5 million primary school teachers.
Wow.
They will be retired. And the big question is, who will replace them? So BINUS has the point that we have to prepare some people, best people, to be teachers for the future. If not, that those kids, they don't have teachers. Who will teach them? And I don't want to have teachers like, oh, I want to be a teacher, okay, because I'm not accepted in IT, I'm not
they don't
accepted
have any other choice
in other departments, in BINUS or other universities, and they go to this department, okay lah, because this is the easiest. I mean, quote unquote, this is okay, primary school teacher, because I cannot be a doctor, I cannot be a lawyer, then I want to be a teacher. I don't think that's a good choice. You have to think it over. That's why the students have to be interviewed before they got enrolled.
Wow.
There is special interview with me.
And now, Pak Jimmy, maybe some of the viewers are now interested, engaged with this new department. They may be hooked up. They may consider joining this program. What do you guarantee they will get by joining this?
Guarantee.
For example, like English department, what does the department guarantee? You will be good at English, both all skills, listening, reading, speaking, and writing. What about this department? What does it guarantee?
Yeah, that's interesting. We try to make this new department as good as possible, of course. That's what BINUS wants to do. And we try to incorporate best practices in terms of curriculum, pedagogy, and also technology. So these are three things that BINUS has. Curriculum, we incorporate national and international curriculum altogether. Best practices from both sides. National curriculum, because we live in Indonesia, we cannot escape from that. International curriculum, because we can learn from other people also, other countries. In this case, we adopt IB and Cambridge curriculum or syllabus, and we try to blend them together. So we take some of the good practices from those curriculum. That's in terms of curriculum. And also from pedagogy, of course, we incorporate the best way also, the latest theory about education. We have cooperation also with other universities. both local and abroad. We have cooperation with China, Malaysia, and soon we also have MOU with other universities in Indonesia. In terms of the technology, of course, BINUS has everything about technology. So we'll have tools for young learners to learn math, how to learn math in a more fun way, you see. We'll produce CD-ROM, produce videos or games, yeah? And those ways we can motivate students to learn better. Yeah.
So basically, this is go back to the registration. So those who want to register or maybe join this department have to be interviewed in the first place by you.
Yeah.
Okay, and
oh yeah, one more thing I forgot. Students who graduate from this department, they will be ready to teach in any kinds of school. You want to teach in national school, national plus, or even international schools.
Wow.
So you have both qualifications, and you will get 2 certificates, one from BINUS and the other from international qualification, Cambridge and IB.
That's really nice.
Yeah, that's the plus
And
point.
is it true that you offer scholarship to some students? What kind of scholarship, by the way? Is it full
Actually,
or what?
Yeah, it comes from the Board of Management, of course. They agree to have special treatment for this department because we want to have more people. I said the best people to be teachers, but somehow perhaps they don't have enough resources, and then we don't want to have that as a barrier, you know, money problem or financial problem. So yeah, we do offer them scholarships. There are 2 kinds of scholarships, the full scholarship and the partial scholarship. Requirements are easy. If you are high school graduates, or even you are bachelor's degree graduates, both of you can enroll for this program. So there is no limitation of age. But still, yeah, you said that you have to be interviewed by the head of department, so to make sure whether you are really in to be teachers. If not, I will not give you the scholarship, of course.
And then that's the requirements. What about the requirements to get the full scholarships?
Yeah. There is special requirement for that because you have to have like recommendation from your school, from your principal. Also, you have to have like certain, let's say, achievements in high school especially. Yeah, perhaps you got the first prize in, what is it, Olympiad, science, yeah? Science Olympiad, or math, whatever. In sports also, music, whatever your talent is. And just show us all the certificates and the awards. Yeah, that's one of the requirements also. And of course, special consideration from the Board of Management.
What about the partial scholarship?
Partial, yeah, partial because you only pay the credits each semester, like 5 million or something. And for the first semester, you have to pay like so-called the uang peralatan, yeah, something like that. Yeah. Altogether is only like 11 million rupiahs for the first semester only. The rest you only pay for the credits, like 5 million or something. Requirement is only you join the test, the entrance test, like other subjects, other departments, and also interview with the head of department.
Okay, and
that's all.
Okay, and we have one more segment, Pak, and so stay tuned. Hi viewers, welcome back with us on Face to Face. This is the last segment of Face to Face in this episode. Now, Pak, what do you plan, or maybe what is your next goal for you personally and for the department?
Okay, my personal goal is actually I want to
increase
be
the number.
No, personally, I want to be a trainer. Education is my life, and then being a teacher is great, but I also want to share with other teachers. Prepare them to be better teachers. And the best way to do it is to train them. So it's like I want to have training for trainers. Yeah. So I will go around Indonesia and offer schools, especially in eastern Indonesia. They don't have enough opportunities to have good methodologies in teaching and things. So I can go there as my, like the corporate social responsibility, something like that. So I'm not paid for that. On the other hand, I want to also improve my skills also. So I will learn more, of course, how to be better teachers in the next few years. As for the department, we are now targeting of 40 students to enroll for this department. So perhaps you can tell your friends also in BINUS
For sure,
and through this show that 40 students, well, the number is not big or small, but we want to have special people. We don't offer to all people.
So it's not about quantity, but quality.
Yes, because I told you, teachers are not only profession, but it's a call. If you don't have the call to be teachers, better not to do it. Yeah.
That is your personal goal.
Yeah.
What about the goal for the department?
Our vision is to be a leading study program in Indonesia, or even in Asia, or even in the world.
Wow.
Yeah, nothing impossible.
Ambition.
Yeah. Which applies best practices in all things that I mentioned earlier. And to be like a research center. And this is one of the keywords also. We want to have a strong foundation in research. Research on the latest issues in this primary level education. As you see in Indonesia, if you have different government and then different curriculum, what is the best curriculum for those primary school students? We don't have the blueprint yet. So I hope in the next 5 years or 10 years, our department will have contribution to the society, to the government, especially to the kids.
Wow.
Yeah, that's our main concern.
Dedication, your dedication to the world of teaching, ya, Pak, ya. But if you were not, let's say at this very moment, at this very time, if you were not a teacher, or maybe if you were not a lecturer, what job do you think you would have?
Nothing.
Nothing. Wow. So
I never regret that I'm a teacher now. And I think that's my call in my life. So I would just enjoy it because I believe God calls me to be a teacher. And that's great. Yeah.
And let's go back a little bit to what we were previously talking about. Quantum what, Pak? Quantum?
Yeah, quantum learning and teaching. That's the specific term. It comes from the physics subject, Quantum means you try to understand the students before you are understood by them. So it means that, in short, quantum learning or teaching means that you have to be in the student's world first. And after that, you try to call them to your world, to your ideas, to your goals for them. And then you deliver it to the students back in such a way that they will appreciate how you educate them. So in short, it's not like you teach them, you just transfer the knowledge and you force them to listen to you. You never care of what they have in mind, their burdens are, they're struggling for life. Teenagers today, they have a lot of problems. But through this theory of quantum, we try to understand their world first. Then after that, they feel comfortable with you. That's the time you share your life. You see?
So that's like positioning yourself as a friend.
Yes. Yeah. And then after that, it's easier for you to get into their hearts because they feel that you understand them. And the rest, knowledge, things, and you see, you want to teach them anything you want, that's going to be easier for them and for you also.
Okay, that's really nice. And now, Pak, when is the best moment in your life, by the way?
Best moment?
I have asked this question to several guests, and most of their answers are when their son was born. What about you?
I think when I know my God, of course, that's number one. Number two, when I got married with my wife, and when I have kids. I have 3 kids at home, beautiful kids. Those are the happiest moments in my life. Yeah.
So how many kids do you have? 3?
3.
3.
One son, 2 daughters.
Okay. Since you are a teacher, do you kind of impose some rules on your children that they one day have to be a teacher like you or not? Or you let them choose their own path in their lives?
Yeah, I never forced them to be what I want them to be. So I just said that, okay, whatever you want to be, yeah, be the best that you can do. And then I never forced them to be anything. So it depends on God how He will call them in their life. Yeah, like what He did to me. I was called to be a teacher. And also I imposed to them that my kids are still in primary schools. So I think I learned best from them also, how to handle young learners. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I never forced them to do anything that they don't like. Yeah.
Okay. And
I think every parent should do that.
You have shared the best moment in your life. What about the worst one?
The worst? Well, the worst is when I see my students do not learn anything. They just spend their time, waste their time doing nothing. And I see them, they cannot reach, they cannot achieve anything they want. I feel that I fail being their teacher. And then somehow it's not my fault, but I just feel that, oh, it's just a pity that you don't learn anything while you are a student. Once you grow up, you'll be a head of family, head of the company. The time is very short for you to learn. So I will say that for my students, the best time for you to learn is now. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Until you are old enough and you don't have enough time to learn anymore.
So try to learn as early as you can. Yeah.
Sure.
So I think we have reached the end of our show, Pak. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
I think it's really nice to have you in this episode. So you have shared some information regarding the new department. So if somebody wants to join, how would that person join? How would that person register? Just come to BINUS.
Just go to BINUS at admission office, or you can see me in Kijang campus, Language Center room. Okay, I'm there.
So this is a special episode with Pak Jimmy Sapoetra. Always watch Face to Face every Friday from 2 o'clock until 3 o'clock, and see you next time.